On the 5th of June, Ethereum opened the day at 1770, and before the day was out, it had traded down to 1540. That is a 13% fall in one day on the second biggest asset in crypto. If you were holding it, you were down 13% and annoyed. If you were holding it with 10 times leverage, your position no longer existed. It was closed automatically and your money was gone. Not down, gone. In the next 9 minutes, I am going to show you exactly how that happens, using one number that tells you how much room you have before it does. We will look at what leverage actually is, the arithmetic of a liquidation, and 2 real candles where you can see precisely which traders survived and which did not. And there is one cost that quietly runs in the background the whole time you hold a leveraged position, which most beginners never even notice until they check their balance. Let's start with what you are actually borrowing. Leverage is borrowed size. That is the whole idea. You put up $100 and the exchange lets you control a position much larger than $100. Your 100 is called margin. It is the collateral. So, at 2 times leverage, your $100 controls $200 of Ethereum. At 10 times, it controls 1,000. At 20 times, 2,000. At 50 times, $5,000 of Ethereum from $100 of your own money. And here is the part that sounds great until you follow it through. Your profit and loss is calculated on the whole position, not on your margin. So if you control $2,000 of Ethereum and it rises 1%, you make $20. On a $100 account, that is a 20% gain from a 1% move. That is the pitch, and it is genuinely true. But run it the other way. That same $2,000 position falls 1% and you lose $20. Falls 2%, you lose $40. Falls 5%, you have lost $100. And $100 was everything you put in. Your margin is gone. The exchange does not wait for you to go negative and send you an invoice. It closes the position before that happens. That forced closure is a liquidation, and it is the single most important thing to understand about leverage because it converts a temporary loss into a permanent one. Price can come straight back afterwards. You will not be in the trade. So here is the number. How far can price move against you before you are liquidated? And there is a simple way to get it. Take 100 and divide it by your leverage. At 2 times leverage, 100 divided by 2, price has to fall 50% to wipe you out. That is a lot of room. At 5 times, 20%. At 10 times, 10%. At 20 times, 5%. At 25 times, 4%. At 50 times, 2%. And at 100 times leverage, 100 divided by 100, a 1% move against you, and the position is gone. Look at what happens as that number climbs. The position gets bigger and the room gets smaller and it shrinks fast. Going from 10 times to 20 times does not double your risk. It halves your survival distance. 2 real caveats, because I want this to be accurate rather than tidy. First, you will actually be liquidated slightly before that number, because exchanges hold back a small maintenance margin, so treat these as the best case. Second, this assumes isolated margin, where only that position's collateral is at risk. On cross margin, your whole balance can be pulled in. Beginners should use isolated. Now here is the way to actually use this. Do not ask what leverage you want. Ask how far price could reasonably move against you before your idea is wrong, and then pick leverage that keeps your liquidation further away than that. If the level that invalidates your trade is 6% below your entry, then 20 times leverage, which liquidates at 5%, is guaranteed to close you out before you even find out whether you were right. That is not a risky trade. That is a trade that cannot work. Let me show you this on real price. This is Ethereum on the 4-hour chart in June 2026. Watch this candle here, the 25th of June. It opened at 1633, and within those 4 hours, it traded down to 1533. That is a 6.15% fall in a single 4-hour candle. Now apply what we just worked out. Anyone long with 20 times leverage was liquidated 5% into that move. 25 times went at 4%. 50 times was gone at 2%, which happened in the first few minutes. 10 times leverage needing a 10% move survived. And on the 5th of June, the day I opened with, the daily candle fell 13% from its open. That takes out 10 times as well. Everything above roughly 7.5 times leverage was closed on a single day. Here is what makes this worth understanding rather than just scary. Both of those moves recovered. Price came back. Every single trader who was right about direction but wrong about leverage got taken out on the way and was not there for the recovery. That is the entire lesson. Leverage does not just amplify your outcome. It changes whether you are still in the trade to have an outcome at all. Quick check. You open a long position on 25 times leverage. Roughly how far can price move against you before you are liquidated? 5 seconds. 4%, 100 divided by 25. And remember, slightly less than that in practice because of maintenance margin. Now that background cost I mentioned, here is the cost I promised you at the start. When you trade leverage on a perpetual future, there is a mechanism called funding. Roughly every 8 hours, longs and shorts pay each other a small percentage to keep the contract price anchored to the real spot price. When more people are long than short, longs pay shorts, and that payment is calculated on your whole position size, not on your margin. So on a $2,000 position, a funding rate of 0.01% costs you 20 cents, 3 times a day. That does not sound like anything, but hold that position for a week in a crowded market and it compounds quietly against you on a $100 account while you are watching the chart and not the fees. Funding is why leverage is a tool for a defined move over a defined time, and a slow bleed if you hold it open indefinitely. So, how do you actually size a position? Work backwards, in this order. Start with what you are willing to lose on the idea. Say 2% of your account. Then find the price that proves you wrong and measure the distance from your entry to that price. Your position size is simply your risk amount divided by that distance. And only then look at what leverage that requires. Notice what happened there. Leverage was the last thing you decided, not the first. It is an output, not an input. That single reordering is the difference between traders who last and traders who do not. And if you want to keep your liquidation a very long way away while you learn, low leverage with a correctly sized position gets you exactly the same dollar risk as high leverage with a smaller one, but with far more room to be temporarily wrong. Same risk, more survival. So, the whole thing in order. Decide what you are risking on the idea. Find the price that invalidates it. Size the position from those two numbers. Check that your liquidation price sits comfortably beyond your invalidation level, not in front of it. Use isolated margin and keep an eye on funding if you are holding for days rather than hours. If you want somewhere to practice this, the exchange I use is Weeks, and the link is in the description. There is no identity verification needed to get started, and there are sign-up bonuses attached to that link. And for actually finding setups worth taking, I use CoinGPT. It runs a scanner that checks a long list of signals across time frames and gives you one confluence score per coin, an AI assistant you can just ask about a chart, and a strategy hub where you can run automated strategies rather than watching screens all day. That is at 𝗕𝗀𝗏𝗫.bot, also linked below. Do check every setup yourself. AI analysis can be wrong, and nothing here is financial advice. This is education, and with leverage in particular, education is the cheap way to learn the lesson. If that made leverage make sense, subscribe, because this channel goes one concept at a time, properly, on real charts. Next up, we are going to look at the fee you are almost certainly overpaying and how to get a chunk of it back automatically. See you in the next one.